The Senate chamber was tense, the kind of silence that doesn't come from peace but from anticipation. Reporters' pens hovered, cameras clicked, and aides leaned forward in their seats. It was supposed to be another long-winded hearing where tempers flared, but nothing truly unexpected happened. But that day, everything changed. That day, John Kennedy wasn't just another senator, he became the voice of every person who had ever been underestimated, dismissed, or insulted. The spark came suddenly, almost casually. Lindsey Graham, sharp-tongued and impatient, leaned across the desk with a smirk. His words, cloaked in sarcasm, hit like a slap in the face. "Kennedy, sometimes I wonder if you even belong in this room." The chamber went quiet. Some gasped, others laughed nervously, and Lindsey leaned back, certain he'd won the moment. John Kennedy froze, not from fear, but from the weight of insult. For a moment, his eyes shifted downward, as though absorbing the sting. He wasn't a man easily shaken, but he knew those words weren't just meant to belittle him, they were meant to erase him. Every struggle, every late night of preparation, every battle for his constituents brushed aside as if he were nothing. But then, slowly, Kennedy raised his head. His eyes locked onto Lindsey with a steady fire that burned past the senator's smirk. The room shifted. The laughter stopped. Kennedy leaned forward, his voice calm yet edged with steel. "Senator Graham," he began, his southern drawl slow but deliberate, "I may not be the loudest in this chamber, and I may not throw around insults like confessia, but don't you ever mistake quiet for weakness." The words struck like thunder. Lindsey's smirk faltered, his jaw tightening ever so slightly. But Kennedy wasn't finished. He stood, his presence commanding the room. "I was raised to believe that respect isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. And if you think belittling a fellow senator, or mocking the people who elected me, makes you stronger, then you've forgotten what this chamber is supposed to stand for." A hush fell so deep it seemed the entire building was holding its breath. Even Lindsey shifted in his chair, the color draining from his face. His eyes darted, unsure whether to fight back or shrink into silence. Kennedy's voice grew stronger, the words now echoing beyond politics and straight into the hearts of everyone listening. "I came here to fight for the people who can't afford lobbyists, for the farmers who break their backs to put food on our tables, for the families who pray every night their children will have better lives than they did. So if you think your insults are enough to break me, think again, because I don't answer to you, Senator. I answer to them." The chamber erupted. Some senators clapped quietly at first, then louder, until the applause rolled like a wave across the room. Reporters scribbled furiously, cameras zoomed in, and aides exchanged wide-eyed looks. Lindsey Graham, who had walked in so sure of his power, now sat frozen, his expression a mixture of shock and defeat. His face said it all. He hadn't just lost the moment, he had lost control of the narrative. But Kennedy didn't stop with victory. He leaned in one last time, lowering his voice so only Lindsey could hear, yet firm enough that the entire room could feel the weight of it. "Don't mistake cruelty for strength, Senator. One day, that lesson will come for you. And when it does, I hope you remember this moment." Lindsey swallowed hard, shifting uncomfortably in his seat. His usual confidence had evaporated, replaced by something far more humiliation. The hearing continued, but the air never returned to normal. Kennedy had done more than defend himself. He had reminded everyone in that chamber of what integrity looked like. He had shown that true strength wasn't in tearing others down, but in standing firm for what you believe in even when the world laughs in your face. And when Kennedy walked out of the chamber that day, he didn't just carry the respect of his peers, he carried the admiration of countless Americans watching from afar. People who knew what it was like to be mocked, belittled, or underestimated. People who finally saw someone fight back with dignity and fire. In the end, the story wasn't about politics. It wasn't about Democrats or Republicans. It was about courage, about the refusal to bow to insults, about the power of a steady voice when faced with arrogance. And the lesson was clear. Dignity, once defended, becomes unshakable. That day, Lindsey's face said it all, but Kennedy's words said even more. They echoed beyond the walls of the Senate, reminding America that respect is not granted by the powerful. It's earned by those who stand tall, even when insulted, and fight not for themselves, but for the people who trusted them to lead.